Most Freemasons do not progress beyond the first 3 degrees, or exams of initiation. These are often called the blue degrees. In fact, many Masons do not even realize that beyond the 3rd degree of Master Mason, that there are higher degrees. The higher degrees of Freemasonry are almost exclusively populated by men of aristocratic lineage, or ex-officers of the armed forces. In all, at any one time, there are no more than a few dozen men who reach the 33rd degree. As they pass each ritual test, the ceremonies become more bizarre and include symbols which can be found in ancient Egypt, with initiates being given pompous titles such as sovereign, prince, or knight. Many researchers claim British Prime Minister Tony Blair is a high-ranking 33rd degree Freemason. This is the highest rank of Mason, and this elite cabal of British Freemasonry has its own headquarters at number 10 Duke Street, which some claim is connected to number 10 Downing Street via a secret underground tunnel. Inside the Duke Street headquarters of the Supreme Council of the 33rd degree, there is a red room, a black room, and a chamber of death, which Masons use for macabre rituals based on ancient Jewish mysticism and Enochian magic.
Once I realized I had met an honest, genuine, high-level Freemason who told me there were 13 levels of Freemason above the 33rd degree, and that these people were God. There was no God, they were God. So I asked them about their plans to kill people, and they said, yes, there are too many people on the planet. We need to get rid of several billion, and war doesn't seem to work, so we're going to use disease and starvation.
Martin Short estimates that 1 in 6 British police officers are Masons, and that there are approximately 600,000 Freemasons in Britain today. Many Freemasons occupy highly paid jobs at local borough councils across Britain, which often have Masonic temples inside council buildings, maintained at the taxpayer's expense.
Hello, caller, you're on the air.
Hi, Mr. Jones. I have some questions about the Masons. I just recently found out that three generations underneath me have the 32nd degree. My dad is 77 years old, and I was wondering if there's some questions that I might be able to ask him to pick his brain, and just to get some information of it, because a lot of this stuff makes sense. And if you could give a brief overview, not of the history of the Masons, but more of current stuff and anything that might just give me some decent information to go in with, because I just can't believe this. I'm 26 years old. I've never heard of this before, and I recently found all this information, and I asked him about it, and I got some vague answers. And I know my father real well. He's my best friend, so I can tell when he's hiding something and lying, and I can tell by his facial expressions, and something's not right there. And there's no recorded history within our family of this. He has no, it's all been put up and put in attics, and now I'm the one asking a question. I just want to, pick his brain if you could help me out.
Sure. Number one, your father is a porch mason. They're outside the house. There are 360 degrees of masonry. Your father doesn't even know about those 360. Your father thinks there's only 33, and then one honorary above that for Supreme Grand Mason. Texas was founded by Masons. Lone Star State, the obelisk down at San Jacinto, George Washington, most of them were Masons. They weren't bad people. The Masonic movement has grown into something different than it was. Mathematics is power. Technology is power and is secret today. A lot of the advanced technology that most of us aren't aware of, that's been hidden by the government, admittedly under national security, the 1947 Act. Well, Masons going back 3,000 years ago were secret universities of mathematics and construction. And if they thought you were a promising young pupil at the local university, whether it was in Egypt or in Greece or in Israel or in Babylon, they would approach you and get you to join, and you'd go to the temple and it was mathematics. And mathematics and alchemy were interconnected, and they thought it was spiritually connected. So it goes back to pagan gods. And so that tradition ran alongside with the mathematics, and that's why it's a secret construction guild. But around the 1770s, a group of mercenaries funded by the Rothschilds, this is all in the encyclopedia, funded a group called the Illuminati, who were trying to co-opt the crest of the Renaissance in the 1770s. We got these revolutionaries, people don't want to be under kings. We've got to co-opt them to get rid of the kings and the royalty and put ourselves in power. But in truth, it was actually other royal families funding it through the Rothschild to overturn their cousins and get control in other areas. So it was a corporate consolidation. And so revolutionary groups have always been hijacked and misdirected. I've had many offers myself to, be one of the globalist controllers. I mean, I've had open offers several times, to be brought into the whole thing, and I'm just not going to do it. So that, to answer your question, your father knows it's a cult at the 32nd degree. Your father thinks he knows the secret that Lucifer is really Jesus. Your father, he knows that much, but he doesn't know the rest of it. So that's basically it.